Ladies and gentlemen, welcome!
Here live in Los Angeles, what's going down today?
The Hangzhou Spark, unbelievable. The NYXL dominance.
They make it look easy.
I can't believe this has happened.
And they've actually done it.
We are going out with a bang.
Mecco comes up with 3. Dig, he rains down hell from above. Shax destroys the entire team.
And that is how you dominate in Overwatch.
And it is just a slaughter.
What a banger of a series.
Atlanta Raid making it happen.
Green and gold, take it to the Maximus.
I think you're getting the impression that something big is going down.
Hello and welcome everybody, Overwatch fans out there. Guess what? It is the final day of the regular season here at the Overwatch League. We are live from Lenovo in LA Live. Welcome. It's going to be a really fun day of matches, I think.
Yeah, it will be. A lot of our teams have already qualified for playoffs, but there's a lot of pride on the line, particularly in the last match of the day with the California Cup. So
very true. And we got a really fun one to start things off with. It's going to be the Shanghai Dragons taking on the Hangzhou Spark. A little bit of seeding stuff. They can move around a little bit depending on how the results go, but they've got kind of their playoff general spots locked in. We know Spark's going to be in the top 6. We know Shanghai's going to be in the top 12 at least, but kind of where are they in that sort of areas of question?
yeah, and especially for Shanghai, who's been really struggling in this meta in Stage 4. After winning and becoming our Stage 3 champions, this is an opportunity to show us that they are going to be adapting to the meta that we're going to be seeing in the play-ins if they want to have a chance of making the top 8 in the playoffs itself.
You know, and I gotta say, I'm not super convinced right now because Shanghai has looked so rough. Let's take a moment though and look at the Spark schedule. As you can see, they've had a pretty solid Stage 4 rather, and where they looked a little bit rough early on, I should say it's been solid for like the last 3 matches or so.
Yeah, and they really did look awful at the start of this stage. It took them a while to figure out their starting roster, but it's been Godsby who has really been carrying this team. And ever since they figured out that he's the guy they want to rely on, they've been doing a lot better.
Well, it's been a wild ride for Spark at the very beginning, right? Because this was a team that came in with a lot of hype, you know, really suffered into 3-3, finally figured it out, suffered at the beginning of Stage 4, figured it out. Now we look at Shanghai, a team on a direct opposite trajectory, where they were so good in Stage 3. They won the stage, in fact. They have been pretty awful, honestly, in Stage 4.
Yeah, and a lot of this comes from the fact that they seem kind of uncomfortable with the hero pool that's going on right now. They struggle with having a good Mei player, which now we know is pretty key in this meta. And even on the support side of things, they haven't been wonderful either, because a lot of what they rely on is great Mercy play, and that's one of the reasons why they were able to take the Stage 3 title.
Yeah, I mean, like you saw on the screen there, the first team in Overwatch League history to win a stage and then have a losing record in the very next one. And as you can see, the Dragons really kind of struggling with some of these newer meta heroes like the Mei, the Baptiste, the Moira. You know, on the other side, you know, the league itself playing a lot more of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing a lot better with those.
They're still trying to make it work with their own style, but it really hasn't been successful.
Not really.
No.
I mean, the thing is like you take a player like Dig, he's been so incredible on heroes like the Pharah, but then you put him on a character like the Mei. The thing is, Mei has a very specific skill set, right? You do need to hit the shots like you always do and all that, but you need to think very differently when you play Mei. And that's a hard thing for a damage player, really anybody, to adjust to, and Ding has certainly been kind of struggling with that as well. And you know, if you look at the support line too, the Baptiste, you know, we see a lot of great aggressive Baptiste in the league right now. Shanghai hasn't really been able to put that into practice. And the Moira as well, not maybe the biggest playmaking support, but certainly one that can put out a lot of healing if you're in the right place at the right time. And, you know, that fade usage, there's a lot of subtleties with Moira that make her pretty detrimental if you're not using her well.
Yeah, and it does limit what you can do also. So we'll talk about that in just a minute, though.
Yep, that's right. So, I believe it may actually be time to introduce one of our first teams in this series. That's right. Let's hear it for the Hangzhou Spark.
I think you better bow down.
Oh yeah, I gotta check, I got respect, and all I'm missing is the power. Oh yeah, I gotta check,
and the Spark, as we talked about earlier, the team with the upward trajectory right now. But interestingly enough, they're starting Revenge today, which is something we may not have been expecting. And, you know, when it comes down to it, the decision between where the end result for Spark today is they're either going to be 4th or 5th in the standings, right? And in the playoffs, I believe 4th and 5th play each other.
Yes.
So it doesn't really matter which one they're in unless maybe there's like a map selection.
Exactly.
Thing. It's very small at the end.
Yeah, it is relatively minor in the grand scheme of things, but they still should be able to take this win given the current team's forms. The Spark have been really on the upswing since they solidified this roster. That said, they are starting with revenge today, so we're not going to be seeing Bei in. So we'll see how seriously they're going to take this match.
Yeah, well, either way, it's going to be a fun one. Their opponent's a team that won Stage 3, but have struggled so much in Stage 4. Can they pull it together here in the final day of the regular season? Give it up for the Shanghai Dragons. Dragons going from Stage 3, you know, the giant, fire-breathing, larger-than-a-building dragons. They're kind of like the end of the dragon era in certain popular fantasy series, you know, the size of only a dog, perhaps. But
they're like Mushu.
Can they grow again? That's right. I suppose, that is true. Different dragon. Very different dragon. We'll see. Pretty standard roster for them starting things off with. It seems like they have kind of preferred to run Youngjin instead of DM in the DPS role when you kind of have to pick who to put alongside Ding.
I mean, it depends on what their strategies are going to be, right? When you see Youngjin in this roster, you know there's going to be most likely a lot of Doomfist play, which is something that they've been relying on, but it hasn't translated into those big wins yet. Are we going to see more of the Mei today? Are they going to keep trying to pound through with their own style? They're guaranteed to be in our play-in tournament next weekend, but I don't think a lot of people, based on their current form, would have them getting one of those top 2 spots and making our overall playoffs.
Yeah, probably not. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Spark have Godspeed, who has really been playing extremely well lately, and this is a player that they really kind of needed to rely on to learn some of those newer DPS heroes, things like the Reaper, and start to kind of put that into practice, into play. And of course, the Widowmaker's been phenomenal too.
Yeah, both his Hangzhou and his Widowmaker are among the best in the league right now. Yeah. So Hangzhou Spark, even though they've improved, they've mostly done it on relying on Godspeed to make plays as a sniper. So they don't necessarily have the strongest Mei Reaper play as a team, so you kind of know what you're going to be getting in a match when you play up against the Spark right now.
How graphic. Oh. Well, do you need it? That's the thing. Like, if you're getting wins, if you're playing like Godspeed is right now, and Hangzhou especially, do you even need that Mei Reaper? I think you could make an argument that you probably do, but, you know, who knows?
I think to win the championship, you might, Doa, but I think to make the run that they have already, they can rely on Godspeed.
I'm really curious to see what we're going to see in the playoffs, too, because the meta we see right now today may actually be a little bit different going forward here as we get into the new patch, but we'll find out more about that next week. For now, let's take a look at our map set brought to you by Toyota. Going to start things off on Busan, going to Volskaya Industries for our Assault map after that. Then it's Hollywood for Hybrid, and finally Havana for Escort at the end. And if we need it, of course, that 5th and final tiebreaker map. But it all begins with Control, and the Control begins on Shrine. Godspeed locked and loaded with that Symmetra right now. And, you know, while I do think we're going to see Symmetra more as time goes on, I don't know if today is going to be the day that they stick with it. I would love to see it, though, but a lot of times you just see her give a little extra boost to the team as they head out of spawn right now. And
it's incredibly important because in the main Reaper mirror, getting to the point first, which you can do with the Symmetra, teleporting your teammates, and then switching off, the re-engage is so difficult through choke points. So I'm a big fan, generally speaking, of teams starting with this. But Hangzhou, they're not going to play the Mei and the Reaper, which we don't expect them to, as I said, coming into this match. Godspeed going to try and make the plays on the Widowmaker instead. In Shanghai, Youngjin's going to be on that Reaper. So they are trying out that Mei, even though they played it a lot less than most teams so far this stage.
Well, you know what they say is practice makes perfect, right? So Shanghai Dragons trying the Mei Reaper again. Adora, we'll see what he can do on the Mei on the Spark side of things. Shanghai rushing the point right now. Getting it with a big ult. Everybody brought in with that one, but no kills off of that. In the end, Rhea not able to land that hook. Now Guxue really low. They got to keep that guy alive. Luckily, the Immortality field is there, but it is Shanghai Dragons taking first control. Godspeed does finish off Gamsu, though, so a chance for the Spark to come right back again. We will see, though. Youngjin has to end up fading away, and it's a little bit rough. And be low health. Can Gamsu get back in time? Shanghai trying to hold off the Spark, but it's going to be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, does have the Wraith form, though, so no damage, further damage. Youngjin.
Yeah, that's right. Godspeed looking for more shots now. and just can't find a shot around that Orisa field. It's really rough, but he does go after Gamsu. Gamsu, headshot. There we are, and Spark gonna be able to take this point back in just a moment.
Take a look at that. Blizzard comes out really early for Adora.
Yeah.
And that's going to help them seal the point. But Ding saves his, knowing that they were going to lose that anyway. But Shanghai, you know, they got a lot of percent off of the first capture right there while that fight was ongoing. Hangzhou just doesn't have the same amount of point presence because they're trying to play at a distance. They're playing with the Batiste, the Zenyatta, and the Widowmaker. So they had to back off there to get some heals that gave Shanghai Dragon the opportunity to muscle onto the points and get that early percentage going.
Oh, nice hook, Gamsu. He was already about half health because of the headshot from Godsby, and that was just a great capitalizing on that low health Orisa. That was sick. Revenge, meanwhile, has that Transcendence ready to go. So the Spark, they really have the tools, too, to kind of sit on this point, and they've already equalized what Shanghai has managed to achieve here.
Yeah, they have. And their pick composition is so good because they are running the Zenyatta. So they have the additional damage from the Orb of Discord, and then they've got the power of the Widowmaker at range. So Shanghai have to get a clean approach here onto the point if they want to win.
Ding can't let his Blizzard get eaten, too. That's the big thing. I guess without a diva on the other side, you don't need to worry about that as much, but placement is still important. Shanghai pops the sound barrier early. Now the Blizzard comes in from Ding. Can Shanghai get around it? It's going to be the Transcendence right now from Revenge, and Godsby is down. Youngjin into the back line. Death Blossom activated, and that's another one for him. He's going to go ahead and finish off Rhea as well. Gamsu helped it out at the very end. And at the end of the day, Shanghai Dragons will retake for now.
And it was well played by Shanghai. They forced a difficult decision because we see Youngjin go into the back lines and start to harass Godsby. Many Reaper players are trying to shut down the Widows because you can't take that 1v1 most of the time if you are the Widowmaker.
Yeah.
So, that said, they throw out the Blizzard, and they're trying to force out that Transcendence. Revenge has to move forward. That means there's nobody to protect Godsby. He's the first one to fall in the engagement.
Another big headshot onto Gamsu. He's been getting caught by Godsby so many times when he's coming around the shield. Ding down already. Rhea gets another one, and it's a great start in this fight for the Hangzhou Spark. Rhea just walking forward with the whole hog, and looks like a pretty easy team fight win, honestly. Nice hook on a mid-air Lucio. Rhea's Roadhog has been so impressive lately. It looks like another easy retake for the Spark, and it's been even on Shrine, but now you're getting into a territory where the Shanghai Dragons need to win this next fight, where there's a good chance that Spark takes the round.
Indeed. Superchargers up for both teams, but Ding not close to another Blizzard here.
Yeah.
As Adora threw his down in that last engagement. So the power of the Widowmaker in ultless fights pretty strong.
How does he...
Oh
what?
My.
How do you kill an Orisa with a Widowmaker that many times? Like, he has hit so many headshots on a Gamsu today.
But they're playing it right, Joey. You want to get the picks as they're coming in. There's another one trying to hook Youngjin in early. Gushue in a little bit of trouble.
Youngjin does get Gushue, so both Orisas down now as Gamsu tries to make his way back to the point. Shanghai threatening to retake here. That's a look from Rhea, but unfortunate reload time, and he can't unload that left click into the face of the Diva. Meanwhile, Luffy down, Godsby trying to return carry for his team.
Wrecking
Can
Ball's
the
coming
Spark
back.
hold on? They're going to try a nice hook on Nakoma again, and Rhea just hard carrying his team along with a bit of help from Godsby at the end, and that is objective secured. Shanghai can't get on it, and Spark looking pretty good on round one. What can you say?
I mean, for as terrible as the Hangzhou Spark looked at the start of this stage, their execution has been cleaned up so well thus far. And you can see there, they know what their win condition is. They don't want to play into the May Reaper mirror. They're going to play long range. Now, that requires us to see them get the picks before the point is captured.
Well, it's been really interesting, too, because like you mentioned, like they've been getting so many shots on Gamsu as he's approached the point, and that's something that you don't see very often. That's something where Shanghai Dragons needs to be a little bit more aware of the places Godsby is setting up. And as we go into Mecha Base here, it's another one of those maps where you do have opportunities for some of those Widowmaker sightlines. Not as many, but there are still some.
Yeah, they're going to try it one more time.
Yeah, why not?
Going for what works right here. Shanghai Dragons, though, they're going to have a much cleaner ability to access the point with the drop down.
Gamsu kind of getting away with one there. That was a shot that you'd expect a lot of Widowmakers like Godsby to hit. That was another situation where it was nearly a lot of damage on the tank as they approached. You know, Envy, the one taking a little bit of damage. Ding has to drop down as well. Looks like they're going to try to approach from the low ground here. Joe Spark has a high ground, nice May wall to separate some of the members of the team. That's going to lead to a kill on the Gamsu. Great wall from Adora, setting this up, but they do lose Revenge right afterwards, though. Spark unfazed, Rhea with a kill onto Youngjin. Godsby still looking for more shots here. Hasn't been able to find quite as many, but his team picking up the slack on the point. Another kill onto Ding, and it's looking good for Spark to get the early control percent going.
Yeah, that's just not the trade you want to make, because yes, okay, you kill the Zenyatta there, you get revenge,
yeah.
But if you don't have a Diva mech on the Shanghai Dragons and Youngjin's on the point, who is shutting down Godsby on the Widowmaker? You don't have a defense matrix, you don't have the ability for Diva to reposition and put pressure on the Widow.
Right.
So it ends up, yeah, okay, we lose our Zen, but we unchain Godsby to take some really aggressive angles, and he's able to carry that fight. So Godsby hasn't been the focus so far of the Dragons. Somebody needs to shut this guy down.
It's really tough to approach him if you're using Mei Reaper. Like, who's the one who goes after
Reaper,
him, right?
Reaper and Diva.
Reaper kind of has to, but still, then what happens to the rest of your team, right? Here we go, it's going to be Luffy with the coalescence. IDK on the high ground now, puts out that Amp Matrix. That spells trouble for Shanghai maybe here. Gamsu taking a little bit of damage. That healing going through there too, amplified as well. Adora with the kill on the Gamsu, he finally drops, and Spark defending.
And you can see the setup here for the Spark. Godsby, again, unpressured. It's him and IDK on the Batiste, putting down an Amp Matrix and just free-firing through it. You can't let that happen.
You know, it's like we mentioned too, it's not just the damage, it's the healing that gets doubled when you shoot through that amplification matrix. And so when you're in that brawl on the point, you got the Batiste up on the high ground, nobody's gonna die on your team.
Definitely not. So 62% already taken. Shanghai struggling to get any control percent. Now we see the Infrasight used on that approach. Will slow the Dragons down. They have a Blizzard, but they have to get people on the point on the enemy team in order to use it effectively. And no, the ult.
Luffy down again. I mean, the approach. It's the approach for Shanghai, right? It's been going so rough for them this map. Revenge down early again. He has died a bit in some of these fights, and now Rhea drops too. So Spark, maybe at the last minutes here, giving this one away to Dragons for a bit. Looks like Dragons should be able to flip this.
Hey, Godsby still getting tank kills right now. Gonna fall to Youngjin. The Ding will get the last hit. Finally tracked down, but Godsby's only died 2 times so far. IDK has yet to die at all on control. 31 limbs to 12 in favor of the Dragons.
It's been a pretty solid Batiste. Revenge has been the one getting caught out a little bit, which as a Zen in this comp, you are a little bit more vulnerable, so it is kind of hard to avoid that sometimes.
I mean, you'd rather have Revenge die. You'd rather them focus him than focus Godsby, so you're happy with that if you're the Spark.
Well, the vast majority of the healing comes off of Batiste in this composition, no doubt. Youngjin trying to take the high ground. He's going to drop down from above. Here comes the Death Blossom. Ice block immediately. Gushwei does drop the Luffy with the finishing blow. Maywall to deny a little bit more damage from Youngjin. He's going to come around the backside, though, and it's some more damage onto Rhea, as Spark now having a little bit of trouble getting over to the point. They're 91%, but it looks like they're not going to get any more for a while. Shanghai building the percent.
And that's exactly what they need to do. Fight in the choke points. Don't let Hangzhou set up and spread out on the open ground. Ding has another Blizzard right now. He's trapped.
He's getting crowded in there. Oh, Blizzard on top of the Maywall. Ooh, I don't know about that one.
Adora used his Blizzard as well.
Yeah.
There's an Orisa barrier there, so they can't get the follow-up damage.
That's the thing. No one really died because of that Blizzard, per se.
And a boost onto the Reaper. Same with the sound barrier now for Shanghai.
Yep, they're going to go in and make it aggressive. Adora drops. There goes Revenge. So putting that Lucio out to good use. They got a great anti-heal from Luffy as well at the beginning of that fight. And just a level of aggression Spark couldn't really fend off there.
All right, if you're Spark now, you stop going through that lower door.
I would say so.
It's definitely time to stop doing that. You failed now twice. You're in the last push. And you've got an Infrasight, so you're going to know exactly where they are. So you should not get caught in a choke, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Shanghai with a real chance to equalize here. Amplification Matrix used. Godsby looking for those shots. It would be so big if he managed to hit one. Youngjin did use his Death Blossom, but didn't get any kills out of that. There goes Chroma, nice freeze into the headshot. Adora taking him out with a right click, and now Godsby up on top. It's going to be a retake from Hangzhou. They managed to just muscle their way in there, and it's a problem for Shanghai. Can they muster one last attack? I don't know, man. You got to just fight with what you've got, and that's not a lot for the Shanghai Dragons. Looks like this map, unless Gamsu can get there, and he can't. It's a 2-0 on Busan for the Hangzhou Spark.
Hangzhou having some struggles there, but the Infrasight allows them to see the Shanghai Dragons. They don't get caught in that choke point again. They force the Wraith form out of Youngjin early so they can break through and get Godsby along sightline again.
It was a decent round for Shanghai in round number 2, but that map was really all Hangzhou Spark, and that may have just kind of set the tone for this series, I think. We'll see if after the break, Shanghai can tie it up on our second map.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. and by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Of the week presented by State Farm. What happens when you add 1 part Nano Boost, 1 part Supercharger, add in an ice wall for flavor, and stir with whole hog? An Atlanta Reign smoothie, courtesy of the Washington Justice's resident Roadhog, Sansa.
So they're getting in. Nades are in again here. Atlanta Reign just rinse and repeat. Here getting mowed down.
Well, there is Godsby from Hangzhou Spark, sending the Shanghai Dragons to meet their maker many times during that first map on the Widowmaker. And it is interesting to see the Widowmaker work that well, because that's a hero that on a lot of maps, a lot of teams have kind of been putting aside because of the walls, the shields, and all that kind of stuff. But he was really finding the angles to make those shots work, and Shanghai having trouble adapting.
Well, you know, the way they play, they're not choosing the main Reaper mirror on map like Mecha Base that we just saw that many teams do.
Yeah.
And it's because they have such confidence in Godsby's ability and the team's ability to play around Godsby. And yeah, Revenge was dying a few times, but that's what you want. That's what you want. It means Godsby's not dying, and if they're going to focus their resources from Envy and from Youngjin on the D.Va and Reaper respectively, that's where you want them to go. Who cares about the Zenyatta? It allows Godsby so much room to work.
That hurts me. That hurts me on a deep level.
But here's the thing.
Who cares about the Zenyatta?
Here's the thing, Noah. Like, if the Zenyatta is there against that composition for 2 reasons. You're either getting an early Discord orb off of a Roadhog hook onto the front line and melting a tank.
Yeah.
So if they've already closed the gap, if he doesn't have Transcendence, then he's not doing anything. So, so you either you want him to get the trance on the point when you're fighting because they have so much point presence because they have lower range and that's their objective. But if they're just going to come in the back line and use their movement abilities, use that Shadow Step, use the D.Va boost onto your Zenyatta, and you didn't get a Roadhog hook or a halt or anything that's going to allow you to use the Discord orb, then whatever, it's over. Just let Godsby go crazy now.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't like it. I just
it's a
don't
sacrificial
like it.
robot. It's fine.
Diem subbing in for Youngjin. Shanghai Dragons making a change at the damage roll,
and this is what we're excited for, right? We want to see the DM Godsby Widowmaker duel. It's going to be on Bull Sky. It's been one of Shanghai's best maps all season. They're 7-2 on it overall, and a lot of it is because they play very well with Pharah Widow comps.
Yep, sure enough.
And it's a great map for that.
It's maybe one of those series, too, where you can play it a little bit differently because of the opponent. So Busan going the way of the Hangzhou Spark. Now we're going to our Salt map, Volskaya. Interesting to note that these two teams played each other on the very first day of the Overwatch League this year. There was a 3-1 victory for Hangzhou Spark in that one. And 3 of the 4 maps today are actually maps they played back then too. Everything but this map right here, Volskaya. They played Horizon Lunar Colony when they played the very first time.
Yeah, it's a beautiful bookend here to the start and end of our regular season. And you know, the Shanghai Dragons looking like they do want to play that Pharaoh Widow defense. And we talked a little bit about their Mercy usage, Doa, at the start of this thing. And right now, they're using Mercy in about 75% of the time, whereas the league average is only about 28%. So they are heavily favoring this Mercy, and it makes sense. Koma's so phenomenal at the Mercy play, but it also means that they can't play more meta picks as frequently like Batiste or like Lucio on that main support.
It is crazy how Koma gets away with resurrections that no one should have any business getting away with, and that's bailed them out many times. Then again, if you have to use that ability, it means somebody's dead, so there is that to consider too. Meanwhile, Hangzhou Spark on the attack here. Ooh, another shot on the Gamsu. He is really looking to soften up that Orisa. Oh, going for the jump.
I mean, that's the intention here of the composition that Spark are running. Like, you wanna hook that Orisa in, and then you want to use the Discord Orb. It is about focusing that tank line, and it's been successful. They're not going to get a chance to res either.
Godspeed wins a 1v1 against DM as well to start things off, and it is looking grim for Shanghai Dragons on point A already. They might have a chance for one more fight here, but Hangzhou Spark already guaranteed at least 1 tick, if not more. Are they just falling back?
I think they're just going to fall back.
Yeah, they're going to just give it to him.
I mean, see, yep, that's it.
I'm a little bit surprised because the way they made changes to assault maps too, you do get everybody back that died really quickly.
So I think the issue is that you just don't have anybody to challenge Godspeed with DM down. So what is NB needs to be on the point to contest. So if you go in, you're basically just giving a bunch of ult charge over to the Hangzhou Spark because you know that no one's going to be able to check Godspeed.
See, I think too positively. I'm like, but I could be getting ult charge on the defense. Naturally, I'll win.
Of course, Noah.
Got to stay positive.
Sometimes staying positive leads to map losses.
Negativity is the key, huh?
That's right.
All right. Good to know.
Pessimism is the key to professional Overwatch.
There you go. Monte Cristo 2019. And pretty much every year previously. Hangzhou Spark lose IDK on the way in, so they'll have to back off, play this one a little bit slower here.
It's a good win.
Oh, Godspeed.
That's a very important pickup right now. Depends on how fast they get the Batiste back. They're going to start to poke in, apply a little bit of pressure right here, the Hangzhou Spark.
Coming there, 1 minute gone, the next finally respawn. As Spark comes in, they're going to have to use that immortality field. Got a little bit low there.
Nano boost onto Ding, but he's going to die anyway. This is not looking good.
Rio with the kill there. Maybe you go to right click, maybe hook, didn't really see it. Godspeed meanwhile coming around the side here. Gamsu in a little bit of trouble. They're going to put the amplification matrix down. That is going to make short work of the Orisa shield. And now Spark putting some direct pressure onto the point. Widow Duel comes in. Revenge though says, you know what? I can duel the Widowmaker. Zenyatta is built for that, of course. I'm going to demech the Diva as well while he's at it. Why not, man? And Spark just running all over the Shanghai Dragons right now. This is going to be a very, very fast point B. A little bit of a delay here coming in from Gamsu. We'll see how long he and DM can keep it going. Gamsu down now. DM has to back away. No health for him as well. And now it's just this trickle of people in on the point from the Dragons. And eventually, you'd think Spark could be able to finish this one off.
They're gonna try with a lucky self-destruct here. Do they get anything? They do get Godspeed.
All right, that is something. It's kind of surprising the Widowmaker couldn't get away. And somehow the Shanghai Dragons jumping back onto this thing. Gonna get enough time to get a few respawns on there together instead of just one by one rather.
Another nano boost here onto Gamsu.
That's right, gonna be hard to deal with now. Getting that damage reduction, getting the heals he needs. Adora gets a kill on the DM though. Now Ding coming in with the Doomfist.
They're going to try here with a Soldier 76 as well. So Godspeed trying to sprint back. Can they finish off this point? It is so close. 99% they can.
Wow. You know, Adora even had his pulse bomb eaten at the end of that too, but they still got the job done. And it was a bit closer than I think the Spark wanted it to be. But hey, credit to Shanghai Dragons for eating just a little bit more time off the time bank.
Yeah, they got about another 45 seconds there, so not bad for the Dragons, but still large time bank at 3.5 minutes for the Spark.
Yeah. The Spark will take that one. Shanghai Dragons just kind of bailing themselves out a little bit there. We'll see what they can do on the attack when we come back.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Shanghai Dragons about to go on the attack here on Volskaya Industries, giving up a quick couple points to the Spark, but a chance for them now to equalize. You and I were talking a little bit during the break about Gamsu, and he's been a really solid tank all year, but kind of it's tough when your team in general is struggling with the meta picks, isn't it?
Yes, there's not really anything Gamsu himself can do right now. Like, he's attempting to play the Orisa, which is the most meta tank that we have right now. And unfortunately, his teammates, Envy doesn't seem comfortable on the Roadhog. Their support line doesn't seem comfortable on meta supports. Adora here is just going to pop off at the end of this. It was a good swap onto the Tracer and the Soldier 76 to go ahead and close out that point. 19-4 were the eliminations for the Hangzhou Spark, so pretty dominant.
Yeah, most of those 4 were at the very end, too. Now Spark on the defense. They're going to be going to the standard-ish defense anyway. Godspeed still on that Widowmaker. Meanwhile, on the Shanghai side of things, Ding bringing out the Widowmaker this time. And Diem on the Hanzo. Ooh, looks like they might swap it up.
Okay, taking a look with the Sombra, they do decide to go with the Mei Widow in the end. Luffy now on the Zenyatta, and they're actually playing Chroma on the Batiste. So this is a much more meta composition. We'll see how the Shanghai Dragons do. This is what we saw Hangzhou Spark running on that last map. Luffy going to make some changes, and now they're going to switch over. Well, the hope was there briefly.
All right, yeah, they're like, nah, we're just going to go with this anyway. And again, you got to wonder how much things are going to change in the playoffs next week, too. So these teams are thinking a lot about the future right now.
It's weird that they would switch over to this when they see Ana Batiste. Why would you switch to Farah against Ana Batiste Widow? That's a puzzler.
It's a lot of dangerous long range heroes. Hey, what do you know? Godspeed gets a headshot. Ding coming there for the res, of course, but now DM down when the Mercy is resing someone. She's not healing anybody else. Another DPS out of the way. Gamsu, no escape for him. An easy defense to start things off for the Hangzhou Spark. And yeah, I do wonder how safe it's going to be for that Pharah with all of that hit scan on the other side.
One wonders, doesn't one. Especially you have the M-Matrix too, which they've been setting up for Godspeed time and time again. So first defense here, successful for Hangzhou. Shanghai still going to be running this. Yeah, they took a look and they went and swapped a couple of times, but now 1.5 minutes already gone in their time bank and one failed push. And
you dared show your face? This is what happens, man. This is what the pharmacy is going to be dealing with the entire map, probably. A Luffy down, Gushue.
Just a hook.
Yeah.
Just a hook bringing in the Ana. Now they have to back out once again. DM trying to get here with Envy on the flank. So we'll see what the setup here is for the Widow.
I mean, Godspeed's wise to this, though. They know what's up, man.
They're definitely suspicious.
Oh no. Oh, he died! No! Godspeed! That was like the Thanos play, man. Perfectly balanced. You know?
Like Icarus, he got too close to the sun. He did escape the prison, but the cost was pretty high.
That is true. That was a much warmer scenario, though, if I remember right. An icy river in Russia here. Ding. Oh, nice headshots from Adora. Who needs a Widowmaker, apparently? Coma there for the res, as usual. Immortality field down. Spark gets hit with a big bio grenade, too. And yeah, the nano boost from Luffy goes in. It's going to be the Blizzard and the Maywall. Gamsu has to run. Ding. Barrage gets taken up, but not before he gets 2. Godspeed needs to carry here. I don't think you do that. I don't know. It's going to be a little bit tough to carry that hard.
No, you can't. Yeah. You can't contest this. You just have a Batiste and a Widow right now. Your Roadhog is down, so you have no presence on the point. Time to let the Shanghai Dragons cap, and Shanghai made the most out of that. Godspeed. A fancy little flick there, but unfortunately,
ultimately,
the cost was too high.
You go for that amazing pick, and then you're just like, my job here is done. I must go. My people need me. That's going to be one Godspeed wanted back because it pretty much led to the Shanghai Dragons taking point A, but 344 on the time bank. They're going to almost certainly have a lower time bank than Spark, regardless of what happens here on this point.
Yeah, they will. And also Godspeed will delay them with the infra sight.
Should be.
So we'll see when he decides to pull out his ultimate. There we go. Both teams on the infra sight.
Perfect vision for both teams right now. Makes the Widow duels a little bit more interesting. Oh, come around the corner comes May with that scary smile. She's walking around knowing what she's walking into, and she's like, it's all right. I am become May, destroyer of teams' mentalities. Widowmakers. That's right, pretty much everybody. There's a nano boost on the Ding.
Again.
Yeah, no barrage, but a lot of damage here. There's a amplification matrix being used. Oh, not hitting behind the Orisa shield quick enough here. Ding doing work, but IDK turning it around, coming with a res onto Luffy. Full support's out of commission for just a moment here, but Ding still unopposed on the high ground. They got to finish him off, going to the back lines, going after Revenge. Oh, and he gets him too. Revenge vulnerable. There's a barrage, finished off Godsby, but he goes down to Adora as well. Spark, though, in danger of losing Kushway. Only the immortality field keeping him alive and not much longer. He's got the shield down, but can they get the healing there in time? Coma getting aggressive, trying to get that bloodthirsty support kill, but those there's a hook. DM forgot there was a Roadhog in play, and now Rhea helping to just push everybody back with a whole hog, and that was a close but no cigar moment for Shanghai Dragons.
Such a good stall there by the Hangzhou Spark. They back off, give up 2 ticks, playing really well around Gushui's HP pool and his shield cooldowns to just make sure they don't tap the point, and they can't kill him because IDK is just pumping Batiste heals into him the whole time. Wait for those respawns to come in, and they're able to successfully bounce back here on the point. So Spark still taking time off the clock, and Godsby to take out Ding again. Now, can they get the res? No, they can't. Died on the high ground.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's just going to be a constant major threat for the Dragons. It's just losing your far as you approach the point. It's always going to be something that's going to be a major concern with Godsby on the Widow on the other side.
And the Ana and Batiste combination. I mean, that's
that too.
And you have the Roadhog too, because when the Far gets in here, you're often, when you're inside this enclosed room that is point B, within range of a hook.
Yeah.
So it's certainly really difficult, and now Ding is going to switch to the May. It's about time.
May Hanzo now. But with 1:20 left, do they have time? You could probably build a Dragon Strike in that situation. They can nano boost him as well. Not if he's dead, though. That definitely makes it tougher.
Dora's aim on some of these long-range picks has been really good.
Yeah, he's had some pretty incredible right clicks. You know, it's all that Brigitte practice, you know? Lots of aim on that hero. Rhea for the kill in the Coma. Oh, Envy does get Gushui, but it doesn't matter. Spark coming out ahead in the end of that fight in a major way. Yeah.
Ding, you know, didn't get a lot of Blizzard charge there. Only at 34%. Looking pretty grim for the Shanghai Dragons right now. They have a nano boost. Gonna put it onto DM and see if he can work some magic. Envy now onto the Roadhog.
It is good to know all that time on Brigitte, which Adora did quite well, didn't deteriorate his aiming abilities.
It's true.
It does happen. Although whip shot, I mean, that's tough one to hit sometimes.
Oh, that was a nice long-range grenade onto the high ground.
A big bio grenade prevented the healing from coming in on Envy for a little while there. Revenge down. Uh-oh, DM finds a pick. It's a 6v5 here.
Yeah, the nano boost. They're going to fall way back on the point now. So Shanghai Dragons have an entrance. They're not going to be spammed down as they approach.
Respawn's coming fast. Revenge already back again, and he's got his nano boost as well. DM taking a lot of damage. Stays alive, though, for the moment, and now Shanghai.
The flank by Godsby's coming in. Can he pick up anybody in the back line?
We'll see. Nice hold. Maywall. Dragon Strike coming through onto Spark. Not a lot of damage, though, here. And meanwhile, DM on the point. Got to deal with the door and the nano boost, but now DM gets his own. Can he get the kills, though? Rhea down in the Roadhog 1v1, and Gamzu falls as well. It's going to be a problem. DM needs a carry, but he's not hitting the shots. Revenge gets away at the last moment. That's a big anti-heal on the Shanghai Dragons. Revenge down anyway. Coma under threat, and Adora and the rest of the Spark close it out. That is going to be a win on Volskaya Industries with the Spark, a 2-0 lead in the series.
Excellent B defense. Infrasight used to move Godsby around the flank. He was shooting from the main choke, and no one could move to deal with him. So the crossfire from the Spark, perfect. And they're going to go ahead and head up 2-0 into our halftime. Only one more map to take the win.
Yep, that's right. Quick break, and when we come back, halftime.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
The Hangzhou Spark are trying to close out the regular season on a high note, and already they are looking like a playoff caliber juggernaut. They're up 2-0 over the Shanghai Dragons at the half. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Watch Point crew. We're back at halftime. It's our first match of the day, and this one, the battle of two Chinese teams we expect in our playoffs. Hangzhou, of course, the higher seed. Not much on the line for them today, but we did want to see how this team was shaping up going into the big playoffs. So what were you looking for from this team?
Well, I mean, my eyes are always going to be on Godspeed because he is the one who has to step it up. There's a lot of pressure on him to perform, given that he is stepping in for Crystal, and he's been playing out of his mind. Oh, yeah. He's been really popping off in this map. Together with Rhea on that Roadhog, they look phenomenal.
And Josh, looking big picture at this Hangzhou team, you mentioned on the pre-show that they aren't the best at the start of a meta, but then they start to gain some steam.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a team where, you know, the communication has taken a while to be able to get into the swing of things. So in stage one, they didn't have much success. As they were adapting to that new meta at the beginning of the Overwatch League, ended up going 3 and 4. But in stages 2 and 3, once they'd really gotten to grips with that triple tank, triple support, they were a force to be reckoned with. And then you come into stage 4, and the meta has a huge shift because of role lock. And it took them 2 weeks, really, to get their head around how to communicate in this new meta, what the roles of Rhea and Gushui really were. But now they've gone on a 3-match win streak, and they're looking good for a 4-match win streak to end their season and end stage 4 with a 3 and 4 result heading into the playoffs. And that's not just wild speculation from my part. I do enjoy a bit of wild, rampant speculation. Right. But this was actually a quote from Rhea as well, where they were talking about the fact that it's basically the communication between him and Gushui that needs to improve.
It looks like things are working for the Charge today. They're in control of this matchup, and you can see it's not easy when you got a mixed roster. You have your Chinese main tank playing along the rest of the Korean-speaking team, but they figured out. On the other side, you've got the Dragons, Bren, and this is a team we expected more from. They won stage 3. Yeah. They are struggling in stage 4 right now. What happened in the early games?
Well, it's absolutely struggle city right now, especially map 1 individually, because we've always spoke about the Shanghai Dragons, and they were a very good triple damage dealer team when it came to stage 3, but obviously we come into the roll-up, they're forced to adapt, and now they're trying to play a lot of the Mei Reaper that you're seeing here, but it's just not working. The thing that the Mei Reaper comp excels at is a lot of the neutral game, and when you've got Godfrey playing the Widowmaker, he shouldn't be getting as much value as he is in a lot of these team fights. Shanghai Dragons should be able to just walk over Hangzhou Spark because they're not running a Reaper for the close range damage. But instead, they're just not really winning out a lot of these fights, even when Hangzhou Spark are playing with a man down, technically with Godsby playing at wide angles. And Godsby's getting way too much value out of the Widowmaker. Across this entirety of this series, he's been clutching these plays and getting a lot of these kills. But we said this in the pre-show. This is a guy who's been heating up tremendously moving forward. And if he keeps us going into playoffs, I mean, he's a force to be reckoned with already. But, I mean, he's just gaining momentum and momentum and momentum. And Hangzhou Spark now looking like a real dominant team.
They've got all the pieces they need to win. So let's talk a little bit about Volskaya, because on the pre-show you mentioned this is where we could see dual snipers coming out for the Dragons. Not good enough to get both points.
Well, unfortunately, we never really saw that Hanzo Widowmaker combination coming out of them. Zing has been on Doomfist, has been on Farah. I mean, frankly, he's an incredible Farah. Like, I love to see that. It wasn't quite enough. They still didn't get enough value out of literally any of their players because they are playing into Adora, one of the best mates, in my opinion, we do have in the league. And he's been making it really, really hard for them to ever really get onto the point and actually get some space. Because if you're playing with the sniper or Doomfist or something, you don't have as much point presence.
And that shield from Gushui is constantly popping up every 8 seconds. Josh, tell me about the future for Shanghai, though. Is this going to be a 4-0 loss, or do you have any faith? Their third map coming up isn't one of their best.
This looks like a 4-0 loss. I'm going to be honest, for any Shanghai Dragons fans out there, Hollywood has not been kind to them. They've not won it a single time this season.
Today's the day.
I mean, they won it more last season when they went 0-40 than they won it this season. Now, good news for Shanghai Dragons fans is that Hollywood is not in our playoff map pool. Bad news for Shanghai Dragons fans, it doesn't look like they're going to do any better in the playoffs as well. They need to pick their ideas up really quickly. They don't look great. I would expect them to bob out in the playoffs unless they massively improve.
Maybe they've been doing nothing but practicing on Sigma and coming out with some.
In all reality, though, I will come up with a counter argument for that. It's a completely new meta. We saw the Shanghai are struggling now in a new meta. They haven't got to grasp it. If we see something drastically change again, which requires every other team to adapt, that is an opportunity for them to rise like the cream of the crop, baby. Cream of the crop. We're going to be seeing Shanghai at the top.
This is how you
Friend,
put cream on things.
We got to
right?
close out halftime here. You picked this team, the Dragons, to win this matchup. If they're going to drastically change things around, as you like to say, what needs to change in the second half?
So Godspeed's getting away with murder right now.
Okay.
Bushui and Rhea have incredible synergy. So they need to kind of, for one, I mean, Gamaso I don't think is a terrible player, but how do they change it around in the second half? Well, okay, they need to try and find some tank synergy, which doesn't exist somehow in these 5 minutes. But I think the most important thing that they can do immediately is going to be shutting down Godspeed and not letting him get the value he's been getting on the Widowmaker. And that's going to be, honestly, onto DM if they choose to field him. Otherwise, they're going to be playing these Mei Reaper comps, which aren't working for them. I think they should stray away from that. Stop trying to play the meta because it's clearly not working for you. Play your comfort picks. And if that means Ding has to play Farah and play the off angles, so be it.
We'll find out. Does Shanghai have the answer, or is it all the spark? Second half coming up after this.
인터뷰 액션. 사람들이 저를 스타 플레이어다라고 불러주는데 그러면서 제가 느끼는 압박감은 좀 없는 것 같고 제가 집중하는 거는 이제 팀이 이기는 거기 때문에 그냥 매 경기마다 그냥 최선을 다하고 개인적인 압박감은 많이 없는 것 같아요. 이번 연도의 목표는 MVP도 받아보고 시즌에서 우승하는 거.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Emily here, coming to you live from the Kit Kat Rivalry Weekend at the Novo at the beautiful LA Live. This weekend is all about the rivalries, but it's not just for the players on stage. We're raising the stakes for the fans, too. All weekend long, our fans will be picking super fans to represent their squad during each match. The super fans will be placed in one of these 2 Kit Kat splash tanks, and they'll have to watch the entire match perched above the water to prove their dedication. The winning teams will get $1,500 donated to charity and the chance to splash the losing team superfan by pulling this fancy lever right here. But don't worry, all superfans this weekend will receive a year's supply of Kit Kats. Well, right now the Spark are up 2-0, so the Dragons have to put in a lot of work, or else this guy is getting splashed. All right, Monty and Doa, back to you.
Thanks, Emily. You know, I think at some point, Emily's just not going to be able to take it anymore, and she's going to pull that lever. I'm waiting for it to happen. I feel like at some point this weekend, she's going to get impatient. I can't blame her. don't let me stand next to that lever because I will pull it.
I think she's showing a kind of inhuman level of restraint. I'm with you.
It's impressive, frankly.
You know, I am a little bit bummed, though, that the greatest rivalry in Overwatch League isn't being celebrated this weekend, me versus the Houston Outlaws. So.
Oh, you're right. Well, that's I'm sure a lot of Houston fans would like to see you in a splash tank. So
that's fine. If Jake wanted to pull that lever, I'd let him.
All right. I would not be opposed to seeing that either. So, Houston Outlaws, you can make this happen.
There you go.
There you go.
It's up to you.
That's right. Don't fill it with acid though. Just put water in it. Just water for the splash tank. That's all we need. Let's talk about a substitution coming in as we look ahead to map number 3. Let's see who it is. It is the one, the only Diem subbing in. That's right. Subbing in for Youngjin, rather. Or no, backwards. I got it backwards. I'm like looking over the monitor here. Not fast enough. Youngjin subbing in for Diem. Going back with that. They tried Diem out in Volskaya, and the Widowmaker duel obviously not going his way. They kind of ran into those same old problems that the Shanghai Dragons have been suffering from all of Stage 4. Now we move ahead to our hybrid map. Going to Hollywood, and we'll see if Shanghai can maybe start a comeback. They've got a chance with that reverse sweep yet.
I mean, we know what this means most likely for the Shanghai Dragons as well, which is that we're probably going to see Doomfist if Youngjin's in at some point on this map. We did hear the Des talk about it at halftime, which is that they have yet to win on Hollywood in 2019. It has been an abysmal map for the Shanghai Dragons. So basically coming in 0-2 into Hollywood is the worst possible situation the Dragons could have hoped for. And Hangzhou Spark looking to shut it down here and take the win.
Sounds good. Ding. The Pharah right before the swap is going to stick with it. Just might. We will see. Youngjin on the Hangzhou now firing those storm arrows into the shield. Spark taking a few shots of their own, backing away. Youngjin, swapping over to that Doomfist. Not surprising at all. It's a great hero for Hollywood, and Youngjin is probably our best Doomfist in the league. Maybe you could talk about Eileen on the charge, but he's right up there.
Yeah, definitely a solid Doomfist player. Going to be coming around the flank right now. So what they saw was essentially some vulnerable supports and snipers up in the top of the cafe.
It's a hook.
Hooks and hooks going everywhere.
Ooh, he landed an ability, got a little bit of shields, but it was just enough to keep him alive. Meanwhile, the Immortality Field does get taken out. Yep, they've got him. Joe, don't have that for a little while. Nice hook on Nagamsu once again. They bring him in, they get the kill. How many times have they done that? But ding! He got that barrage insanely fast. That's the kind of thing you need. Guxue's still alive. Adora's still there as well, but it's just too much for the Spark to handle, and that is a fast point they take from Shanghai.
And that was really well played by the Shanghai Dragons. Now, what they were waiting for, and the big mistake there was IDK threw out that Immortality Field too early. So you know who didn't have Immortality Field? Beth, for this play right here. After Ding just gets that ultra-fast barrage. They're trying to corral them into the cafe using the rockets because that puts them in close quarters so they can get a barrage or they can get a pick-off with the Doomfist. And that's exactly how they executed. Nicely done by Shanghai. Lots of time now.
It blows my mind how fast Ding gets those barrages. It really does do that a little bit quicker than any team would expect. And yeah, you were not prepared, Spare, right there. I'd say that describes Spark. I don't think they were prepared for that.
Definitely weren't, but now it gets a lot harder.
Oh, Gamsu again. Hooked and then taken out by Godsby this time.
Yeah, now it gets a lot harder for the Hangzhou Spark. Ding has switched over to the Mei, so they want to just push the card. But Godsby has a pretty significant range advantage here with that Widowmaker. Being, of course, hit scan, so easier than the Hangzhou to hit things at range. And also, look at the Spark. Tons of healing coming in from the Ana and the Batiste.
So the setup for Shanghai, waiting for Gamsu to have that shield to throw up there. They got the Mei wall as well, immediately blasted through, though. Godsby, another nice shot.
And we look at Hollywood with the Dragons. Point B is really where they've struggled. You know, Point A has been troublesome, but not the end of the world. It's been trying to get through B. But that's going to be a good start, Youngjin.
Youngjin landed that one hit, and then he pulled out the storm arrows for the finishing blows, and that's how you handle that Widowmaker on the other side. Luffy down. So it is a 1-for-1 trade in the end, but now the Supercharger comes in for Spark, and that's going to mean Rhea can walk forward, doing a ton of damage. Envy and Gamsu stand no chance. I think Revenge threw the Nano Boost into that as well.
Yes.
That's how you start the defense.
Yeah, Revenge threw the Nano Boost into Guxue to heal him up, make sure they would provide a little bit more barrier damage in the Orisa versus Orisa matchup. Shanghai Dragons now, they switch over to Luffy on the Zenyatta. So it's all about the front line, but he's just going to get picked off as he peeks through the choke.
And it's so hard to go through that doorway sometimes when Godsby is looking at you from the other side. You need to have that shield ready.
But it's extra value too, because Godsby gets a pick, but he doesn't have to use the Infrasight. So he shut down one push, he's gonna slow up the next push.
Yep.
Just great play here from the Spark.
And going back to the more standard Widowmaker spot now. He was way over on the left, let him get that surprise shot onto Luffy there. All right, nice hook, and a little bit of damage. Immortality field used early by the Shanghai Dragons. Again, they got to keep people alive. Gamsu taking a lot more damage again. All right, Amplification Matrix set up on the high ground. Easy shot onto Youngjin. That'll do it. Body shot with that Amp Matrix. Plenty of damage. Ooh, nearly got volleyed to death, though. I think saved by the Immortality field there was Godsby. Rhea, though, does get the kill on Nakoma. Oh, no, lining it up. Oh. Can't quite get the angle. Kenny, you're never waking up. Oh, oh. Gamsu just saved by the geometry there. Pillars, walls, roofs, you name it.
And falling off Godsby, falling off the high ground. In the helm, Rhea is going to fall as he's walled off from the rest of the team in spite of having that extra healing from the Bionic Grenade on him. And now, finally, the Shanghai Dragon are going to get moving, but they do not have a lot of time. And now they will have even less with Youngjin and Gamsu falling late in the engagement.
Yeah, it's probably going to give Spark a little bit earlier defensive push here. Force the ice block there.
Yeah, the thing is they have to wait for their tanks.
Yep.
So they've got the Roadhog back right now, the Spark. They're waiting for Gushue to return. And now they're going to set up this defense. Nice Bionic Grenade is going to slow up the Dragons. And goodbye, Gamsu. Oh, and miss.
Fortify. Oh, the Fortify saved him on that second shot. It was kind of a glancing blow. And yeah, Gamsu definitely needed to take a break and get some healing there. All right, Revenge with the Nano Boost. Adora with the Blizzard. Shanghai with more ultimates here. Ding gonna use this Blizzard. Adora responding in kind. Envy has a hole on, gets a nice right click on Revenge. Youngjin finishes off somebody. Finish off Revenge with that Dragon Strike. Gets IDK as well, and the Dragons charging through to the end of point B.
And you see the trouble in defending point B at the end sometimes, Doa, because the Widowmaker can't take as long of the sightline, which means Envy can run in and get a hook. So Godsby falls early thanks to Envy's hook. They don't have that same threat, and they're better in the mid-range with those Storm Arrows from the Hangzhou pick. Godsby now going to switch over to the Hangzhou himself for this limited point. 2.5 minutes remaining for Shanghai to finish off Hollywood.
A little bit closer quarters, so the Hangzhou pick makes sense. All right, Gamsu. Get that Fortify up to the halt, so he flew through the air. Envy gets a nice hook on Rhea, blocked off with that Maywall, but he gets away because of the Immortality field from IDK. Nice play there. Gushue does get the kill to Gamsu as well, and so Shanghai has to back off. And they only have about 2 minutes remaining. Making it through point B, but C is really where it gets tough on Hollywood.
Yeah, we're looking at mirror ults too. Yeah, both tank ults and the Batista ult for both sides right now, meaning nobody's going to have a meaningful advantage when it comes to that barrier pressure. Godsby has been picking up a lot of free kills so far, Doa.
Well, these kills on the Luffy are huge too, because it gets Revenge so far ahead in the Transcendence ult charge too, so they can have that Zenyatta ultimate a lot sooner. Rhea, though, gets hooked. Godsby with the pick there on Nakoma in return, though, so it's still 5v5. And again, like, look at the Zen ult charge, man. The Transcendence for Spark coming a lot sooner here. Supercharger into the Blizzard of Ding to buoy up Spark's damage.
Just trying to put the pressure down right now on that front line while they wait for the respawns. There they go. Dragon's coming through.
IDK with a kill into Envy. Godsby was like, you know, I want a little bit of that as well. Takes out Koma. Youngjin trying to respond here, but no, it's not going to work out. Godsby doing so much right now. Little Sonic Arrow action to line up the shot onto Ding. He's down anyway. Adora finishing him, and now under a minute for Shanghai Dragons to try to finish point 3.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult for Shanghai. They maintained the ults that they had on their tank line, but Hangzhou didn't have to use a whole lot. They're not going to have a Dragon Strike. They're not going to have a Blizzard anytime soon. So difficult push now for the Dragons. They're going to open it up, make some space with the Amp Matrix.
Yep. Shanghai pushing forward now. There's a Dragon Strike in response, though, and you built that ultimate so fast, and you just kind of trade it for the Amp Matrix, and Godsby gets a kill on the Ding anyway. It's working out pretty well for Spark at the moment. Shanghai need to dig deep. They've got about 15 seconds left, and they need to win a fight.
See Godsby, he's just been so aggressive here.
Oh my.
Trying to stall them out through the choke point. Kills for each side.
It's one on Rhea. That's something at least. Immortality Field down. Gatsby lining up shots on the Ding, forces these guys block early. Gamsu taking a bit as well as he walks forward, taking a lot more damage. They need to use the Transcendence, but we're into overtime. It's fight or die for the Shanghai Dragons right now on their attack run. Gushue able to walk forward now. IDK dies with his ult up. Here comes the Dragon Strike. Immortality Field protecting a lot of people, but Gatsby getting the kills anyway. And he's not done yet. Immortality Field lasts a long time here, actually.
That's going to push him off the cart there with the whole hog. It fades away, but Sparker's still winning this fight.
Yeah, it's a matter of attrition right now, and Shanghai Dragons losing a lot more than they're gaining in this fight. Young Jin over to the Doomfist, but he doesn't last at the end, and it looks like this is where the payload's going to stop for the Shanghai Dragons. Solid defense from the Spark on point C.
It was going to be so hard for the Dragons to come in on that push. They had to use the Transcendence just to make it to the payload. So Spark say, okay, we'll just wait for it. Come back. Well, you need to fight on the payload in OT. We have the Trance. We have all the healing. So difficult to win in that situation if you're Shanghai.
Hangzhou Spark in control. A chance to win it, win the series with their attack right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back to Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Hangzhou Spark getting the stop on point C against the Shanghai Dragons, and all they need to do, push the payload, win the map, win the series. Let's watch Gatsby again on board with him. At the end of that last defense.
Rising uppercut straight into an arrow.
You don't want to uppercut into an arrow. That is
quality life advice. So,
right. That's
you wouldn't uppercut an arrow.
Write that one down, kids. It's important. Please don't stand on the equipment. Farah and Mercy. Hangzhou Spark on the attack. And going for the composition we saw them use at the end of the last round.
And Shanghai going to be using the Farah Doomfist on the defense here. This is tricky.
It is.
It's definitely tricky because unlike last time where Shanghai can sort of corral them into a closed space, it's a lot harder to do that when you're on the defense.
A nice anti-heal on Gushue and Rhea though. That bio grenade from Luffy doing work.
They got some good charge, although Immortality Field does protect the members of the Spark through that.
Yep.
IDK almost at a window already. Holy moly. Ding has his barrage.
There he is. IDK does have that amplification matrix ready to go. Ding. Of course he's got the barrage. He's Ding. Coming in. Oh, he gets hugged. Oh, that's huge. He died with the barrage up. Can they res him? Coleman needs to get in there.
So well.
I don't think Coleman can get in there, but
they baited that in so hard by having the Roadhog on the high ground and everyone else clustered up in the corridor. They knew the barrage was up. They knew that he wasn't going to be able to pass up that opportunity, but he didn't know the Roadhog was there.
You know what they say, barrage me once, shame on me, barrage me twice. It's not going to happen. So we have a Roadhog there.
Definitely didn't. It's a smart play by the Hangzhou Spark. Now they're going to switch to the Widowmaker. Very quick take on A, but Shanghai had a quick take too, and they couldn't finish out the map.
Very true. All right, Rhea. Firing into Gamsu's shield a little bit in. Ding still got that barrage. Immortality field put down. It's in a place where you can't really reach it. Rhea does get the kill into Youngjin as well. Spark with the 6v5. But again, Ding's still lurking with that Pharah ultimate. You get a chance to use it. Oh man, his team falling around him. Nice D-Mech onto Envy. And Ding down again. Barrage still unused.
Not really a chance to use it, though. He hasn't had the protection. And it's looking real bad for the Shanghai Dragons right now, as the Spark continue to push forward. And, you know, the Spark aren't even playing what I would think would be an even better composition against what Shanghai is running, which is swapping Adora out on the Mei for the Sombra, which would be absolutely fantastic on this point.
The age-old Doomfist, quote-unquote, counter.
Well, it's also the pharmacy, right? Like,
sure.
It's really easy to get into Sky to get a big EMP because you have the high ground and the open space.
At this point especially, it's very easy to get on that high ground. Easier on other maps. IDK with the amplification matrix, giving it a little bit to his team. Youngjin, ooh, in trouble. He has some meteor strike to live. Now Ding comes in, but he only gets some tertiary stuff. Meanwhile, meteor strike. Godspeed slam jammed by Youngjin, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to deliver Shanghai Dragons a team fight win. It will, however, deliver Hangzhou Spark point B.
It was a style meteor strike.
It was.
Onto Godspeed, who was
about sending a message, you know?
Who was scoped in, no doubt, and that came to pass, but you sought to stop the payload in the end. Split spots for Luffy and Coma are disastrous because, look, you don't even have to move very far, just around the first corner. They're waiting for the studio doors to open right now, but those respawns being that Shanghai can't set up effectively. Look at how far forward the Hangzhou Spark already are.
Yeah, it's pretty tragic for the Shanghai Dragons right now. 4:30 on the clock. Rhea is down.
That actually saves Envy and Gamsu working together for that hook. May save this map for Shanghai.
Well, we will see. There's still a lot of time to go. That's Youngjin taken out in the Hangzhou v Hangzhou. Hangzhou Spark pushing in again with the 6v5 now.
And the thing is, now all the barrier damage is there for
Gamsu.
Hangzhou. No, Gushue pulled in.
It's another nice hook, but look at this flank from Godspeed. Oh, and no, he's on the point. What? Oh boy. I'm looking at the Shanghai fan on top of the splash tank right now. And he's like, you know, he's got the chrome spray out and he's like, witness me. Well, one more map to go, but the result is a foregone conclusion as Hangzhou Spark a 3-0 so far in the series. And yep, your fate is decided. It's inevitable now.
All right, well, we're going to check out a replay here of the end of that map since sort of missed what had happened there.
Oh, this is a classic.
This is a classic.
The classic Shang 9.
The classic Shang 9 right there. No excuse. You got the Roadhog in the Mei.
Well, quick break, and when we come back, map number 4.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Alright guys, what are we going to say to get in the comms check this week?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Hey comms?
Front page of Reddit, here we come. Say hello.
What?
One, two, check. Hey, your microphone check.
No,
we don't have swag.
We should talk a lot so you can comm check.
Yeah! Yeah! Am I doing it?
Oh, no, with Shadowbird's like...
One day I actually want to sit there.
Say where?
Yeah, there.
Want to beat DPS?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You want to switch now? We can switch now.
Yeah, I'll play Orisa.
Wait, I could have been your doctor. I went to doctor school.
I went to doctor school.
A heart surgeon. I do intense heart surgeries.
Do you know what the heart doctor's called?
Yeah, I do.
What?
Why would I tell you?
Dante, you want me to tell you?
Every time, yeah, sure.
Cardiologist.
Wait.
No. Like Cardi B.
Please comm check. Please.
I just realised why they didn't contract us, by the way. We're not like PG enough for them.
Yeah, of course, that's a European way.
I'm sorry, contract, mate, but it's just what we have to do. Like, we're not gonna change ourselves for you. You know, we're gonna be ourselves.
Alright, hand out.
Huh?
Rushing gun.
Oh!
Rushing gun!
Finally! Got to have hairs!
I was thinking about messaging Tom Holland for a 1v1, dude. You think he'd respond?
Of course.
Oh, Tom Holland's hot.
Hey, I never noticed what this panels look like before. You guys see that?
I didn't know. I see.
Oh!
Whoa!
You gotta love the comms checks. Definitely one of my favorite things of the Overwatch League right now.
Always fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, you know what else is fun? Things if you're a Hangzhou Spark fan. If you're a Hangzhou Spark fan, it's fun right now because your team has a 3-0 lead. Well, they've won the match actually over the Shanghai Dragons, but we still have one more map to go. Oh yes, everybody's favorite, map 4.
I know it's your
It's gonna be great.
special favorite, though.
Oh, I love it. Well, I like escort maps, so
exactly.
I always look forward to map 4s. Yeah, that's right. We do have a substitution coming into map number 4. We'll have to see who it is. It is the one, the only DM back in again for Youngjin. That's right, back for the Shanghai Dragons. And, you know, if we think about the map, it is a bit of a double sniper map. It makes sense that you put DM back in on the Shanghai side of things. Izayaki subbing in for Luffy on the Shanghai Dragons side as well.
Yeah, a player that we haven't seen a whole lot of, just a little bit since his transfer over from the LA Valiant.
Right.
Player that we think of as having a very high mechanical skill ceiling, maybe not the best decision making. So we'll see how he is progressing in that sector of his play right now as we head into map 4.
He's a young player, right? So he seems like one of those players that has a lot of potential. And I know people like to throw around the word potential a lot, but he's got a really extreme level of mechanical skill. And so if you compare that with just good team synergy, like eventually I think he's a player that could become really big.
Yeah, I agree. His ceiling is very high. And
clip this for later, by the way. In like 2 years where he's like the star of the league. Like, remember this one.
We'll see how well he does on Havana. Now bringing DM back in. Of course, with his first point, we do see, as you said, a lot of that double sniper look from the Hangzhou and Widowmaker, although generally you switch off it here for the distillery phase on point B when it's a little closer in, and then you can go back straight to that Widowmaker play here at the Fortress at the end.
Don Rabatico. What do we make? Well, it's in our name. That's their slogan.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
It's pretty clear what that optic was invented for.
We make bot. No, never mind. Who invents a robot that does that? I mean, and why hasn't someone invented a robot that does that?
Well, see, the thing about rum distilling dough is they have to mix all of the aged rums together, so you actually need a human being to taste it to make sure the product is consistent.
I don't know. Once you invent Taste Spot 3000, I think it's gonna be fine.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, Coma getting taken out by Godsby. Once again, the Widow opening things up for the Hangzhou Spark. Adora, not to be left out, with one on the Envy as well. There's Revenge. She's like, it's my turn. I want to get on that kill feed, and Hangzhou Spark pushing forward. Is a few return kills coming in, but not enough to really stop that payload. Adora with the 3K.
Yeah, just popping off on the Mei. And because those kills were staggered, and the payload was moving the entire time. You're going to get some good distance here on the side of the Spark. They're going to be set up, and the question is, can DM get back to make a meaningful defense at the end of A? Looks like he will be just barely, but they can't set up.
Well, there's a lot of damage coming through that where that Orisa wall is right now, and Mei wall thrown up as well just to kind of block a little bit of damage. They break it as they decide to get aggressive. Gushui pops that Fortify to avoid the hook. Hook avoided as well on the Shanghai side as Ding pops that ice block.
It's poking right now. Each team looking for that advantage. DM trying to get behind here.
Yep. Oh, Venom Mine activated. DM knows where his counterpart on the other side is. Godsby finds two, actually. And he's just going to deliver them the point. All right. Well, that's probably going to be point A.
I mean, Envy got the hook and the pickoff to start the engagement, but with the Blizzard down, Shanghai ran in thinking that they were going to be able to take that 6 versus 5. They get frozen. Godsby has an angle onto the frozen players, and they make that look easy. So lots and lots of time for the Spark here to go ahead and take this 4-0 win that they are looking for to end their regular season.
Yeah. Hangzhou Spark pushing ahead. See if we can pick up any kills here. Oh boy, here we go again.
Nice hook in.
There's nothing to fall to your death off of here at this point. So Godsby has a good chance. Revenge gets a kill on the Izayaki. And here comes a Transcendence now from Revenge as a Blizzard gets used by Ding. Shanghai Dragon trying to win this one. Oh, Rhea took a lot of damage, but he lived for now anyway. Gamsu saving that supercharger, just trying to block as long as he possibly can. Revenge gets another one onto Envy, and I gotta say, Revenge popping off a little bit on this Zenyatta. Look at that! What I tell you, he's getting bloodthirsty. There goes DM, and he finally helps the team finish off. IDK getting a couple as well. That was a support hard carry, is what we call that, Monte Cristo.
Most of those kills coming on the side of IDK and Revenge. Shanghai picked off time and time again. They have that Transcendence, though, to make a defense straight onto the payload. Here at the end of B, Hangzhou Spark used a lot of resources in terms of their ultimates on that push, but they're coming up on another Blizzard for Adora.
Yeah. Well, Godsby trading shots with DM right now. Amplification Matrix out for both teams here. Naywall. Adora has to stay in the ice block, absorbing a little bit of damage here. Gets back behind the wooden pallets, which are very strong wooden pallets, apparently. It's our titanium wood, apparently.
Ironwood, though.
Ironwood, I guess, yeah. Unbreakable wooden pallets. That payload is stopped, though.
Yeah, Hangzhou actually backed off there, which I think is a bit of a surprise. They're waiting for that supercharger to go down.
Yeah.
They're gonna come in now with the Blizzard.
DM down already. Adora looking for another one. He drops that Blizzard. Oh, Rhea, look out! Immortality Field, he tries to pull him out of it, but he can't quite take him far enough. Doesn't matter, because while this distraction is happening for Rhea, the rest of the Shanghai Dragons are getting murdered by the Hangzhou Spark, and that's point B.
I mean, it was a little bit too cute there from Rhea. He was being greedy.
It's all part of the plan.
Trying to kill Koma on the
distraction
Batiste
play.
When he was just steps out from that Immortality Field, but doesn't end up working. He wanted to save his hook cooldown.
Totally intentional.
Doesn't matter, though, because the rest of the team is caught up over on the side with that Blizzard. So Hangzhou still with the cleanup as he distracts both of the supports. He did cut off the healing that whole time, so did provide value.
That payload getting closer and closer to the end here. You know, as soon as they go back and start pushing it again. Pushing ahead now. Now the payload starts moving.
Yep, gonna go ahead and drop the Amp Matrix on the payload.
Yep.
Well, right,
open shots.
right in front of the payload.
All right. Taking the high ground now. Izayaki, ooh, close call for him. Rhea knocking people off the edge there. Doesn't get any kills with that, but it does open more up for damage to come in from Godsby and Revenge. And Revenge pops the Transcendence at the end of that to counteract the Blizzard, but there wasn't really a whole lot of follow-up anyway from Ding. He probably honestly could have saved that one. See Ding, not a big threat there.
That damage coming in, but didn't have the Discord on, and fast enough doesn't end up mattering as Adora walks around the flank.
He's got the Immortality Field. He's not afraid. Oh, goodbye. All right. Envy even, gets him. Izayaki just wants to get up a little bit closer. Land that kick, you know?
And that's a bad stagger here as we come to the end of this map. Still 2.5 minutes for the Hangzhou Spark as they continue to push. They have a Blizzard as well. That's exactly what you need just to close out this point when you know Shanghai have to go to the cart.
Yep. Here we go, Shanghai Dragons. Using the Transcendence to engage. You're getting that healing. It doesn't help Gamsu too much, though, as Gatsby gets another finishing blow. Adora's Blizzard on the payload. The Dragons really unable to even approach at this point. That is a fast attack round from the Spark.
It's just another one of those situations where we talk about Transcendence like we did on the last match.
Yeah.
Shanghai have to get to the payload, so they have to use Trance to get there. Spark, they just walk off knowing they have Blizzard. Okay, throw down the Blizzard. Now they have to approach when they don't have the Trance anymore, and there's just not a lot of options if you want to delay at those last few meters that Shanghai could have offered.
Very true, and it's a pretty casual set of games for the Spark right now, as they really haven't looked all that challenged by the Shanghai Dragons all day, and securing that spot in the playoffs, in the top 6, of course.
Yeah, we were wondering why Revenge was coming in this series instead of Bebe, who's been their more consistent flex support starter in terms of stage 4. But as of right now, Noah, he's leading his team in final blows at 10.
That's right.
So he is definitely having a great day today.
No olvide lavarse las... Oh, I couldn't read the last part. No. Hey, do you think...
So they're coming back for you.
Oh, okay. Las manos. The hands. Manos. Hands of fate. I know that one.
That's right.
So, do you think there's like liquor bots in other countries too? Like in Scotland, do you think there's a Gregor McScotch bot or something?
Has the liquor industry now been dominated by Omnics?
Could be. I mean, at least rum anyway.
I mean, I guess technically we don't know that they aren't powered by alcohol like the robots in Futurama.
It's true. Who knows what's in that oil they advertise on the Bobby, right? Gregor McScotch bot. Try my fine robotic scotch. That sounds great. Can't wait for that map. Please.
Get on it.
Oh, no. Right out of the gate, Gazi with another headshot. Revenge coming up with another one. And that's a rough start to the attack. A little bit of spawn camping going on from Spark here.
Yep, that's a quick stuff on the attack run of the Shanghai Dragons by the Spark as they go ahead and sit right behind this Orisa barrier and try and get some more pickoffs as they come out of spawn. That's an aggressive shot to take there if you're DM.
Hey, why not? What do you have to lose? You want to make a play? You want to get in that highlight reel? That's what you got to do. And V down. And the payload still has not moved very far yet. Cosby wins a Widow 1v1 against DM yet again. Back to the drawing board for Shanghai. Going back to spawn. Are they going to make any changes, though? I don't know.
Doesn't look like it. They're falling pretty far behind in ult economy already because of how decisive the picks have been from the Hangzhou Spark.
That's the thing. It's something that kind of like builds on itself, right? Because you're losing these fights, you're not making progress, and you're also giving more ult charge over to the opponent. That's be down to 35 HP, though.
He's running.
Yeah, has to back away. All right, here comes the Ant Matrix for Shanghai. This is the moment. This is when they want to push forward here. Nice hook, though. Oh, the double hook comes in. Hook for hook, and it's going to be kill for kill. Rhea and DM both down. Amplification Matrix a little bit later for Spark, and that means they've got it a little bit later, too. But the Shanghai Dragons don't seem phased. Well, now they seem quite phased, actually.
Now, Shanghai had an opportunity to back off right there, but they were doubling down. They were going to get that respawn in just a little bit quicker. Hangzhou's going to have Rhea back very shortly, but they are going to have to back around probably this next corner. We'll see. Nope, they're not going to. That's lucky that they don't have to give up any ground here on the payload because of their respawn timings. Infrasight deployed by DM.
They just got enough kills. Able to get back. DM waiting for that shot. Ooh, finds one under Rhea, but now he's found out. He's exposed. They know where he is. Does it matter? We'll see. Really wants to get that kill onto Revenge, who, as of yet, has still not died on this map.
Another unfortunate pick.
I don't want to jinx
for the Dragons as Adora finds Ding.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
So Infrasight doesn't end up having a lot of value, but that might actually. So they get the last elimination. So Shanghai is definitely going to get some cart movement here.
They should.
Especially because the Blizzard's not there for Adora as he's heading all the way back.
And Mei doesn't exactly move across the map as fast as some of the other heroes, so.
Yeah, now they have to play the corner. So finally, Shanghai Dragons have made some room for themselves to push this payload just a little bit further, but only a minute, Noah.
Yeah. Another amplification matrix for Shanghai Dragons, blocked off by the Mei wall, but they can still shoot through it. Blow through that Mei wall pretty quickly.
They're gonna get the supercharger too.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Envy. barely dodging that shot there. Rough one for them. A lot of ultimates for Hangzhou Spark. They want to try to defend. Ooh, good hook though onto Rhea. Can he get out with a breather? Ooh, they pop the Transcendence from Revenge to keep him alive, and now the aggression comes in for the Spark. Immortality Field finally goes down, and it will be the Shanghai Dragons picking up that kill under the Roadhog anyway. The Blizzard must be used by Shock to try to stay in this defensive fight.
I don't know if they had to use that Blizzard there, Doa. They could have waited out the Transcendence just a little bit longer, I think.
They wanted to take it right there, I guess.
Yeah, they did. Doesn't end up working out, but Hangzhou Spark still trying to make some plays here.
Yeah, Dora, he's diving in there on the Gamsu right now. Ice block, couldn't quite get the kill. Ding gets the kill on the Godsby though, and it's looking good for Shanghai to finish off point A, but look at this. They're gonna do it pretty much in overtime.
Yes,
and
they
just
are.
get into OT right at the end before they take point A. So last possible second for Shanghai Dragons to get a little bit more time on the time bank.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to punish any split spawns here either, because Hangzhou Spark will be able to escape the distillery and rejoin their teammates before that happens, even though they was taking a look for them right there. So the whole hog, same with Rhea, and Matrix still up for Coma. But both teams used practically everything in that last fight.
Yeah, Dora's really close to the Blizzard, so they'll have a few tools soon at least. The defense. Yeah, Matrix down for Coma. Shanghai tries to come around the corner here, but Godspeed's just going to flank. Ooh, DM. A lot of damage popping up on that high ground there. Yeah, good Sonic Arrow to keep an eye on where the Hangzhou is. He's getting buffed by the Supercharger, though, from Gamsu. So a little bit tricky for Godspeed to take that 1v1 right now. Meanwhile, Rhea does get the kill on the Envy. Shanghai is having a little bit of trouble putting together a cohesive push here.
They are. They're not really approaching the payload too quickly either. So they're just trying to play at this corner, and it is sliding back. They need to find a way to attack this entrenched position that the Hangzhou Spark have taken.
Yeah, only a little over a minute to go, too, so whatever you're going to do, you got to do it fast. Oh, that was close. Got just around the corner. That was very nearly a dead DM there. He's going to go back in with the Storm Arrows. He knows the hook is on cooldown. Take a breather, comes out, though. Rhea getting aggressive. Should have that hook back. Yep, right now. Misses it, though. DM really playing around those Roadhog cooldowns. Meanwhile, the fight goes well for Hangzhou Spark. Godsby with a couple himself. That's going to be another hold for Hangzhou Spark. 45 seconds for the Shanghai Dragons as they put together what will probably be the last push.
Yeah, they've got to make this work. Fortunately, they have the Blizzard, and they forced the Blizzard from Adora.
Right.
Still trying to walk up. Watch Revenge. Him using the Transcendence into the Blizzard is the most important thing right now for the Hangzhou Spark. If he's picked off early, it provides the Dragons an opportunity to push this through the end of B.
Yeah, they've certainly got what they need to try to defend this. Envy, oh, Envy's down! They got him! And that's big. It's a 5v6 in Shanghai to keep going. Ooh, 5v5 as Iaki gets one onto Godsby, but Rhea right there for the response, and Adora finds Coma, can't quite finish off the kill. Let's get the wall down though, and we're into OT. The cart moving forward. Can Shanghai get it to the end of point B?
They're the Dragons.
Dragon Strike comes through. Revenge with the 2K though, and Godsby gets Gamsu. And Envy has a whole hog, but it's going to be tough to push through this. As a one-man army, you don't have a lot left if you're Shanghai, and that looks like where it's going to end. Hangzhou Spark take the 4-0.
And that's where you want to end your regular season if you're Hangzhou.
Absolutely.
You struggled at the start of stage 4. I question whether they should even be in the top 6, getting that bye through our play-ins, but they come in looking very strong to close things out and like a formidable playoff opponent.
Now, we talked about trajectories between these two teams, and it really couldn't be any more different. Spark really pulling it together here in stage 4 at the end. We'll have to see what Shanghai can do in those playoff play-ins next week, but you gotta be worried about this team after such a great stage 3. They've really had a tough time with the 2-2-2.
They've got a week to figure this out, Noah,
Yeah.
and they have to come in strong because there are going to be some really tough opponents in that play-in tournament, and certainly you wouldn't say the Dragons are a favorite to make top 2 right now.
I would be surprised unless something changes quite a bit over the next week. Let's take a look at our standings after that series. That's going to put Spark solidly in 4th place. So as we look forward, way forward in the playoffs, that means they'll play the Gladiators eventually. Would have either way, because 4 and 5 will play each other, so.
That's true, but higher seed picks the first map, so it does give you a slight advantage to start off the series. And look at the Dragons right now. Depends on how the Valiant does today, obviously, because the Valiant could jump to 11 if they beat the San Francisco Shock, given the Dragons' kind of poor map differential.
Yeah.
But the Dragons have to play through either the Rain or the Spitfire. Most likely the Spitfire, considering we expect Rain to win later today. But then it's like Dynasty, Charge. Who wants to be in that play-in tournament right now? There are a lot of really, really hard opponents.
It's going to be intense, man. I can't wait. Let's take a look at our player of the match, brought to you by Omen by HP. It's going to be the one, the only Godspeed. No surprise there. That guy was clicking heads all match long.
I mean,
like that one.
In that last match, Revenge ended up with 19 final blows, so and he was really popping off. But Godspeed, yeah, that was
whoopsie.
Mistakes were made. I like how they. Congrats, Godspeed, you're player of the match. Remember how you lost Polskaya A for your team? Shame.
Hey, you know, it
Shame.
No, but this is, you know, it just goes to show, if you want to be the best, you gotta fail sometimes too. You know, there's no success without failure. It's life lessons from Godspeed and Dylan Monte Cristo here.
It was hard.
Mostly us.
I think it was hard to pick up player of the match because, I mean, IDK, Rhea, Adora all played really well.
Yeah.
Especially Rhea and then Adora picking it up in the second half. But Godspeed continues to be an absolute monster on the sniper positions. Hangzhou Spark are very comfortable as long as they're playing the Widow or the Han. So don't ask them to play the Reaper, though.
He does indeed. And now we've got Danny standing by with Godspeed to have some chats about that match.
Monte, thank you very much. Everybody, give it up for Godspeed and Hangzhou Spark for the great victory. That wraps up your regular season of Overwatch League. Congratulations again for your victory. And also with this win, you guys now have about a week to prepare for your first match in the season playoff, which is going to be against the LA Gladiators. How are you thinking about spending that week to prepare yourself? 이제 시즌 프로 첫 번째 경기가 항저우 스파크에 이제 대결을 하게 될 팀이 글래디라고 들었는데요. 네, 그 일주일 지금 이제 한 일주일 동안 준비 기간이 있을 텐데 그걸 지금 어떻게 잘 사용을 하실 건지 궁금하네요.
이제 저희가 이번 시즌에 쭉 열심히 해왔던 만큼 플레이오프를 준비하는 기간에도 더 열심히 해서 준비를 할 생각입니다.
So just like the regular season, how we've always gave all we've got, all our 100% for every match that we did, we're going to even try harder for the season playoff for that week. All right, talking about the LA Gladiators, I just want to hear your personal opinion on that team. Is there a weakness that you see from the LA Gladiators? 글래디 팀의 좀 약점 한 가지를 이렇게 하나 꼽아야 된다면 뭐가 있을까요?
글래디 팀의 약점은 저희를 아직 한 번도 못 이긴 팀이라서 그게 약점인 것 같아요.
LA Gladiators' weakness. They have never beaten the Hangzhou Sparks. That is their weakness. Okay, awesome. All right, moving on to the Kit Kat splash moment, everybody. Godspeed, you get to you get to splash that amazing Shanghai Dragons superfan. So we're gonna count 3, 2, 1, and then you pull the lever, okay? 자, here we go. Everyone count with me. 3. Pull. Bye bye. All right, thank you so much, Godspeed. Casters, back to you guys.
Oh, thanks, Danny. Well, there you go. Another fan splashed in the splash tank. Another match done, and the Spark with a big win over Shanghai Dragons.
Yeah, looking really good. I'm now very excited for that Gladiators Hangzhou Spark matchup in the playoffs because you know, with how well Godspeed's doing, and Surefour's been really clutch recently as well, so that matchup at DPS is going to be really good.
That's going to be sick. So guys, don't go anywhere. A lot more Overwatch League coming at you in our final day of the regular season here live from the Novo at the LA Live. It's going to be the Atlanta Reign fighting the Boston Uprising. We'll see if they can grab their spot in the top 6 in the standings. So don't go anywhere. More Overwatch League coming right up.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.